Hello, my name is Sydney Williams. I attend Riverbluff High School, and the policy that I decided I wanted to change was the Roe v. Wade overturning, which was decided in June 2022. But specifically, the term laws of the gestational period, which is basically whenever you can't have a baby that exceeds the amount of weeks. So some states say that you can't have a baby after 6 weeks, some say 22 weeks, some say 15. It just depends on the state. And my audience member is my mom. And what I saw is that 1 in 3 women don't find out that they are pregnant until after the 6 weeks mark. So for this to be the term period to be very, very low, I think that that's pretty crazy because most women don't have symptoms. They don't start showing until weeks after 6 weeks. So that's crazy. Roe v. Wade has now made abortions illegal in 14 states. And the states that do allow it, like I said, the gestational period is very, very, very tiny. And so if you're going to do that, you might as well just ban it everywhere else. The reason that I decided this policy is because I feel as being a woman and most of my peers are women, this is something that involves us. And this is a big decision. It can make you very, very happy, and it's also a huge responsibility, but it can take a toll on your body and your mental health. And I just feel like for this to be mostly decided about men in the courthouse is insane to me. And they have no law that says that they can do anything with their body or something that they can't do with their body. So for it to be something that is for us, I just think that's very unfair and sexist, and America is just going along with it. The men in the Supreme Court know about the severe birth defects that you can get, the fact that you can have a stillborn, and the fact that you can have a baby that resulted from rape, and that they still passed this law is unacceptable, and we should definitely reopen this case. And the people that are responsible for this law's overturning is Samuel A. Alito Jr., Clarence Thomas, John G. Roberts Jr., Stephen G. Breyer, and Sonia Sotomayor. And those are the 4 out of 5 people that voted yes to the overturning in June 2022 on the Supreme Court. The plan of action that I would take is to give out a petition that is nationwide, basically just saying if you are pro-abortion, if you're not pro-abortion, or if you are pro-abortion given certain limits, like if you're raped, severe birth defect, or if the baby's going to be stillborn, and just give it a yes or no. And I feel like I read something that said 85% of America is yes, and so I just feel like we should reopen that, and that this shouldn't just be something that is made by Supreme Court. This should be something that is made by the people. And so once we get all of the votes in, I would definitely give that to somebody like Planned Parenthood, which is an organization that is pro-abortion. And once they get that, because there's such a big impact in the world, they can find a supreme leader and give it to them, and hopefully we can reopen the case. To elaborate more on this topic, I have an article by CNN Health that shared a story about a Texas woman that almost died. Her name was Amanda Eid, and she was 4 months along, and then her baby's amniotic fluid started leaking out, which is very vital to the baby's health and them coming out as a healthy baby. And the doctor said that they were not allowed to perform an abortion given the state's laws. So they had to wait until she went into septic shock and almost died for them to give her an abortion. And I just feel like this is very crazy that you would have a mother die, even though you know that the baby that is still going to come out of the womb is going to die eventually after a couple weeks, or even sudden death as soon as it's born. And the fact that you're going to have the mother just get really, really sick until you can give an abortion is very barbaric. My next one is by ABC 7 New York, and it's about Kylie Beaton. That's the mother's name. She was having her second child. She just had her first, and the fetus's brain did not divide into 2 hemispheres, which is very vital to a baby's life. And so since they knew about that, they still didn't give an abortion, even though after she gave birth, the baby would die almost instantly or after a couple of hours. And so it was just very hard to understand that she had to go through that mental and physical pain, because she still has to have this pregnancy stuff that you have to take, like the prenatals, and then the way that it feels when you're pregnant. I know that's a big, heavy belly on you, and the fact that she still has to do that and know that her baby's gonna die after it's born is really, really sad. And another one that I found was from Time.com, where a 12-year-old child was raped outside of her home by a stranger in Mississippi. And just after she turned 13, she felt very, very sick, and her mom rushed her to the hospital, and they figured out that she was raped and she was pregnant. And the state of Mississippi bans all abortions, and under no circumstance are you allowed to have an abortion in Mississippi. And the hour would have to be an 8-hour drive, which they were not fortunate when it came to money. And not to mention that you have to buy food and days of shelter and stuff like that. And so they just couldn't give her an abortion. And so she had to go into the 7th grade with a newborn baby. Another one is from Time.com. It's also a rape case where a 10-year-old was raped by a 27-year-old man that the police said happened at least 2 times. And because of the fetal heartbeat law in Ohio, she had to travel 3 hours to get her abortion. And these are new abortion laws and restrictions already harming the most vulnerable, which is our children. Imagine your 10-year-old or us as 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds having to have a baby, and because we can't get an abortion, people that are really, really young like that have a chance of hemorrhage or eclampsia or even death because their body is still not fully formed yet either. So just as I stated before, abortion is not the best way to go about things, but in these cases that I stated, I think that we should make a change, and I believe this is how we can start a change in this policy. So, Mom, do you have any questions?
No, I think it was very good.
You have to have a question. Think. It's okay, think.
They do have a lot about also incest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that would be like, that would be rape.
Yeah.
People
But I just feel like because they didn't make laws on babies coming out with birth defects and rape and things like that, I think it makes the law just horrible for women. But I also think women should have the right to make decisions on their own bodies. No one should be able to take that right away. So I think that was a very good presentation.
A question.
I don't have a question. You kind of answered everything. Everything that you talked about was good and proved your point of why you would want to take it back to the Supreme Court.
Okay.